now listening to the Good Bad Advice Podcast with Stephanie and Chase.
Hello! Welcome, you guys, to the Good Bad Advice Podcast. We're your hosts. I'm Chase.
And I'm Stephanie.
And we give unsolicited advice to people in the news each week and mostly hang out with each other because we're besties.
And we can't find time to hang out outside of this.
Because we're too busy.
That's why we have scheduled time together.
Early in the morning where our eyes still don't open. All right, how was your weekend? Have you recovered from last week?
Yes, it was a good weekend. Very relaxing. Like, not a lot to do. A lot of like Sunday felt like the longest day ever in the best way, that you're like,
yeah.
It's only 4? Wow, I have so much left of the day. So, perfect weekend, but very uneventful.
Did you hang pictures?
I ordered frames for all my pictures.
Okay, good.
I also have like 2 or 3 oil pictures on canvas. I'm trying to decide if I should get them canvas wrapped or if I should just
frame them.
I can't decide on a couple of them. You might need to come over and
mix
muse
it up,
with
maybe.
me.
Do like one that's canvassed, one if you're gonna, depending on where you're gonna.
So
put
I have
them.
2 pairs, and those I want to do the same.
PAIRS or PEARS?
No, not paintings.
It's like,
of pairs.
Paintings of pairs. I was like, well, that's a vibe. That's
very Tuscan 2002. No, I have 2 like pairs of oils, and then I have a large oil that I think would look good wrapped. But gosh, I really just, can somebody please sponsor our podcast so I can pay to wrap a canvas?
I know.
It's so beautiful. It's just like, I'm like, oh, there's gonna be $100 and whatever dollars.
Oh, if not
if
more.
I'm lucky.
Yeah.
Because it's a large painting too. Anyway, I know you all wanted to hear me talk about framing photos. I know you came to this podcast because one of our top listened to this year was HGTV. So I know you came here for design tips. So anyway, no, I ordered all my frames. I have such bad commitment with hanging photos.
Why? Just put the little Velcro thing on them and it doesn't even hurt the wall.
Well, I have a couple of photos that are heavy. Like, I have one that I want to put in my living room that I'm like, I'm going to have to put nails in. Which is crazy because, like, I have the paint.
And you own the house.
And I own the house. Like, it's, I don't know. It just feels so permanent.
I am a huge
I know.
believer
Like,
in
literally,
hanging
you were
things
in
up.
your house for a day and you had things hung up.
I did.
So, I could learn something from you.
Which, speaking of hanging things, so Steven has pulled his back.
Yes.
So he's not able to lift things, certainly above his shoulders.
Okay.
I hung a 65-inch TV by myself.
Wow.
Above our dresser in our bedroom.
That's impressive.
Yeah, I took it down
I always
and I hung it
outsource
by
that.
myself. I also did it probably in like 10 minutes. Do you remember Sheena Shea on VPR? Oh, also one of my neighbors is named Sheena. Shout out. I don't think she listens. But I said to Steven, he was like, how are we going to remember all the names? And I was like, oh, I will remember Sheena.
Yep.
Next door.
Remember
and
it.
Remember Sheena Shea's boyfriend hung up that TV?
Yeah, what was his name? It was like
Rob,
John or Ron or
Rob
something
or
like
something,
that.
I think. And she's like, Rob can hang the TV in like 10 minutes. He hung the TV and then it ripped from the wall. So after I hung the TV, I was like, wow, I did that really quickly.
You're like,
the rest of the night, one eye open, just making sure it didn't like come down on us. I also hung a gallery wall above our bed.
Yeah.
Saying, I kept being like, dear Velcro gods, please work. Because I needed it just like stay up and nothing came down, which is great.
Thank goodness.
I spent my Friday night, Steven was hanging out with his brother on like a one-on-one. And so I was kind of like, this is fun.
Yeah.
I could kind of have like alone time. So I did.
I'm proud of you for that.
Thank you. So that's when I hung the gallery wall and I switched out our bedding. Like I did a bunch of just like, oh, I'm just going to kind of take my own pace.
Yeah.
And then I finished the second book of A Court of Thorn and Roses. And now I'm on the third book, which I'm listening to the dramatized version. Have you ever listened to that on Audible?
No, I've
where
heard
it's like
good
a
things
movie.
though.
It is so different.
But it's like distracting.
Amarantha came out from the girl. Like it's, and then it's like, how dare you? I told you get done. Like you feel like you're listening to a TV show of it, and so you're just like, oh, okay, it's helping.
Does it feel cheesy?
A little bit.
Yeah,
that's what I was just gonna say. It's a little bit harder. It's like the armor clanked, clank,
Did
clank,
you know
clank.
they're doing a Harry Potter version?
Yes, I just
and I'm
heard,
like,
I saw that.
I fear it will come off really cheesy.
This came off a little cheesy. When we're offline before my mediation starts, I'll play a little bit of it so you can hear.
Yeah.
Because it is kind of like, he breathed down her spine. Where you're like, I actually know what a breast sounds like. So there's a little some of
like
that.
You could have actually left that part out.
But I loved that. And now, because Carissa really loves that series as well, she keeps sending me memes and fan art. So now I'm getting it from you and her. I'm fully being bathed in the ACOTAR.
ACOTAR memes are really, truly
And the
epic.
story is getting really, really, really good to me.
Oh,
Like,
the third book is really where the story is like comes together.
Yes. So I'm loving that. And then Saturday we hung out with our friend Whitney. She came over to see the house.
Love Whitney.
We love Whitney so much. And you know those good friends where you plan like, hey, you may have to sleep over because we're going to just be catching up for that long. That's the kind of friend for her, which was really fun. And it's fun to show off the house because we finally got our couch. Mm-hmm. And there's something about finally having a couch in a space. You're like, oh, I guess we live here now.
Yeah.
Because it takes up such a huge part.
Also, it's such like a weirdly expensive purchase. You're like,
the most expensive thing we bought was the couch.
yeah, you're like, I bought the house and then I bought the couch.
Yeah.
Like,
they came together.
And now I have no money.
I have a loan for both. That's how you kind of feel. And then yesterday, Greg and Lauren, our fact checker, came for brunch because it was Lauren's 40th birthday. I probably shouldn't have said her name. Sorry. Correct that. She's 29. Which is fun. And then we had dinner last night with Steven's brother, sister, and his sister's boyfriend. So I've hosted a lot this weekend. A lot. So I'm exhausted.
You know what else is this weekend?
This past weekend was Pride.
Happy Pride.
Happy Pride.
Happy Pride.
Happy Pride to all the Pride people. To the L, to the G, to the B, to the T, to the Q and the A and the I. To the elemental P, it's you and me. We're in this together till we die. Oh my God, did I just make up a Pride jingle?
A Pride jingle.
I don't think people appreciate the elemental P.
Why don't we bring a
that's
little rainbow for the month of June?
You find one and you can bring it, or we could just print off Diplo's picture. Did you see Diplo with the rainbow coming out of his privates?
Yep.
We could just put that here.
I did watch a TikTok this weekend of this guy's in the car. His friend approaches. He has a rainbow balloon, a rainbow cake, and he's like, happy Pride to you. And he's like, why did you do this? He's like, because you're gay.
It's okay.
It's so funny.
There's a account, average fashion blogger, did a little tribute to Pride, and I was like, ooh, where it's crass, but it's really, really funny. So yes, happy Pride, everybody. We're going to talk about it a little bit in one of the stories about Pride. But I'm probably not a good, I don't go to the parade. No. Because I don't like outside.
You're not a good metric on Pride Month.
No.
You're like, LA.
I'm like, hey, and they're like, what the? I have to tell you. So we go to with Whitney. We went to Himalayan Kitchen, and the owner there, which I actually like. What's the one that you told me?
Saffron Valley.
I like that one better. The taste is infinitely better.
Guys,
in my
if
mind.
you like Indian food, Saffron Valley, the tikka masala and the garlic cheese naan.
Yeah, we'll take a sponsorship from either. But if you're gonna go, Saffron
and you
Valley.
Want to sponsor your podcast, I'm like, I'll eat your tikka masala
on podcast
7:30 in the morning. It's so good.
So Whitney, Steven, and I are there, and the owner, I think his name is like Nararan or something. He came up and he was so charming. He's like, so did you like it? And we were like, yeah, it was good. And he's like, okay, so this is what I need you to do. You need to go onto Google review. You need to select 5-star, only 5-star. Okay, use my name. Say he's the nicest. Then you say, and he's like telling us how to leave a Google review. So we're like, oh, okay, yeah, totally. He's like, you could do it now on your phone. Do it before you leave. Okay? Do it before you leave. Okay. And I was so happy. Yeah. Like, I was just like,
oh, yep, I'm going to do it.
Because just the boldness of like, you liked it, you did. Go on to Google reviews right now and say that to everybody. Yeah. Put your name on it and do 5 stars. Prove it. You like it? Show me. Do it. I just kind of like the like a slightly aggressive, but like super charming, and he's like got a little sing song.
Okay, do we need to start doing that to our listeners?
Yeah, actually, hey, if you're listening to the podcast, go to Apple Podcasts, select 5 stars. Actually, this is what we should do.
Okay, keep going.
I have just a thought that's coming to me now. Between when this episode airs and the next episode,
yeah,
every new 5-star rating on our podcast will be entered into a raffle.
Okay.
And if you live out of state, you'll win a Zoom lunch with you and me. And if you're in state, you will win an actual Chick-fil-A drive-through. You do have to sit in the back for lighting, but you'll be mukbang in the back seat for a lunch.
Done.
That's a good little win.
We really
We'll pick you up.
value ourselves. We're like, you guys really want to go to a Chick-fil-A drive-through with us.
And we're paying for their meal.
Yeah,
Well,
you're
we'll pay for
$12.99. It will be on us.
$12.99?
I don't
What
know,
are they
for like
getting?
a full combo?
Milkshake? Okay, fine. You can get a milkshake, but let's not go crazy. Don't supersize
When is peach milkshake season?
Did we miss it? Isn't it?
No, I think it's in fall. Maybe it's like August, September.
Okay. I do love. I actually haven't been back to Chick-fil-A since I went with you on air, on footage.
But you could if you wanted to.
Which also, I don't think we ever posted that video.
No, we didn't.
We did not.
Because you got sick after. So
That's right. Mentally sick.
Yeah, mentally.
So I go to therapy. Okay, I'm trying to think of anything else from this past week, but I have 3 GBs.
Please go ahead.
We watched, I got to make sure I say the name of the movies right.
Okay.
Because we did a good job at catching up on movies. Okay. Why does this literally say that the top movies? Oh, because I'm not in the store. I was like, why am I just on Apple TV? The Apple TV is saying like the top movies Ghosted from last year. Dum. Okay. Finally watched Fall Guy.
Oh.
So good. Have you seen it?
The one with
Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt. It is so good.
Okay.
It gives me like true rom-com action. I really liked it. So that's my first one. The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. That is Guy Ritchie's account of like the advent of MI6.
Okay.
And kind of like the CIA, like intelligence operatives.
Oh my gosh, is that
war.
the one with Henry Cavill?
Yes.
I have not seen it, but I have heard
it's so good. I think it's really well cast. It is graphic because it's a Guy Ritchie.
It's violent.
But it was really, I was super.
I'll watch it for Henry Cavill alone.
He is really good.
Nice. He's nice.
Yeah, he's nice. And the Sam Richardson
the one whose head is too big for his body.
Yeah, no, his body's too big for his head.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, I was like, no, his body's gigantic. Yeah, strike that, reverse that. He's really good. The Asian guy from Crazy Rich Asians, the lead actor, what's his name?
Oh, Henry.
Yeah, but he kind of is. I feel like he has been eclipsed by
Simu Liu.
Yeah.
Who wasn't in that movie?
He was not in that movie.
No.
But in my brain, I'm like, oh, you're not as good as.
Sad.
What's his
Simu
super?
Liu.
I know, but what's his?
Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi. Oh, and the Ten Rings.
Yeah.
Gosh, Marvel really needs to fix their franchise.
They are.
Are they going to?
Yeah, they're working on it. I have a person at work, Joe, who is
you said it so confidently, like you were in a board meeting.
I really like MCU.
Yeah, no, same.
And so I
can't believe
stay up to date on it, but I haven't been up to date on it. So I have a resident expert. His name is Joe.
Okay.
Who I work with. He's the one that we talk about, the Joe Bros.
Got it.
The girly swirls. He's just kind of one of the girls.
Okay.
And he loves the MCU so much. So a couple weeks ago, was like, Joe, what is happening with the MCU? He's like, okay, how much time do we have? And I was like,
I'm like genuinely interested in what Joe had to say.
Joe goes, okay.
Can you actually give Joe my number?
Yeah, of course.
Maybe have him Marco Polo me. Do you have Marco Polo?
He could be our resident he loves Marco Polo.
Okay, wait.
This is what's girly swirly about him. Him and his friends Marco Polo every morning.
That is actually so girly swirly, but I love that so much.
Is that not so cute?
Okay, wait. Have him Marco Polo me his thoughts too, but synthesize that for me.
Synthesize. So everything was going really poorly in the MCU. Everybody was like, what is happening? None of this is making sense. You're going kind of back and forth on your messaging of blah, blah. So what he believes is the Deadpool Wolverine movie. If you're not interested in like hearing what people are thinking about this movie,
Yeah.
please skip forward or spoilers or whatever. Not really spoilers because
Yeah.
this is.
And if you don't care, start caring.
Yeah. So he believes that the Deadpool movie with Wolverine, he is supposed to be like going and like fixing all of the MCU
Who's he?
errors. Deadpool.
Okay.
He believes that he is going to go into other like dimensions, worlds, blah blah blah.
Storylines, whatever.
It's gonna drop like a bunch of cameos, a bunch of like old Spider-Mans, and just basically like correct all of the MCU timelines so that they're all like going on the right track. But Kevin Feige, who's pretty much over all of Marvel Cinematic Universe, pretty much was like, this is off track. He pushed back all of the movies so that the only MCU movie coming out this year is the Deadpool movie. And that, I think, is supposed to be the crux for correcting everything else. But like some of them have already been in like late stages of production. So I think that like they're going to take it from the Deadpool movie forward. But this is the correcting point.
When does the Deadpool movie come out?
In July?
Okay.
July like 13th.
So we're
I
going to
believe.
get some pretty good data.
Yeah. But like, I think if you have lost faith in the MCU, you will regain it going to see Deadpool. Although like Deadpool is notoriously like crass and
One
like
of my
violent and
those, yeah.
hilarious. Okay.
So
okay.
funny.
That's the word
Yeah.
we were looking for. So
Yeah.
but that's like the recorrection of the MCU
Okay.
is supposed to be starting with Deadpool and Wolverine.
Okay, cool. I'm really, really hopeful for that. Okay, my third one is, you know what we watched the other movie we watched this week that was like, wow, this turned us into a different vibe, was we watched Moana. And
what a
we
great
then were
movie.
like going back and watching some of these like classic Disney movies just as like an adult.
Yeah.
Is kind of nice.
Yeah.
Like it helps it to be, it was
so
like
relaxing.
a comfort. We didn't really have to
Yes.
pay attention. It was like feel good without like needing to be too involved.
Yeah.
So my 3 GBs were those 3 movies. All of them were G's. And maybe what we should do for a poll is like, what is your Disney movie?
Your comfort movie?
Your Disney comfort movie.
Mine's 101 Dalmatians. I freaking love 101
The old one?
Dalmatians. Yeah.
With like classic.
Like the animated classic
animated.
101
oh my gosh,
Dalmatians.
that's such a fun, I would have never thought that.
That one and the original animated Peter Pan. All the time.
Oh yeah, okay.
Okay, my 3 GBs. My first one is the Bridgerton book. I started reading them because obviously we're all obsessed with the show right now. And unfortunately, they are really, really good. And I have very much enjoyed them. Although, despite it being a book of the times, the men in those books do act out of pocket constantly. And while I do know that it is historically accurate, it's also a fiction novel, so make them nicer.
Oh,
Like,
right.
While I know historically at that time a man would say, "You're my wife, you're my property," I don't like it. And so please take it out.
Yeah.
Like, the way that they are kind of mean to these girls in the books, I'm like, so it's still a fiction novel.
Oh, generally men like historically have sucked.
Yeah. But I'm like, but this is my cute little fiction. I would like you to
Yeah.
take this out.
Yeah, and if you want like fiction, stick with Akatar.
Yeah. Yep.
Because those men in that book,
They're
they
nice.
come correct.
They're nice. My second one is a show that we watched with Bailey this weekend. Something in Dungeons. It's like Desserts in Dungeons, Delicious in Dungeon. Some anime that you wanted to watch. Started out like a very cute. We're cooking monsters in this dungeon. It's very D&D.
Okay.
And now it's gotten weird. In true anime fashion, it's gotten weird. And
Can I say something?
Traven and I are still watching it, like looking at each other behind Bailey, being like,
I have a question.
Yeah.
Can I say something controversial?
uh-huh.
Anime, all anime is weird, right?
Yeah.
Like we're accepting that the entire law of anime watchers are people I wouldn't let babysit my kid, right?
No. Okay, so anime has become very mainstream in the last probably 10 years.
Okay.
There is very odd anime, and there is a lot of it's very formulaic.
Okay.
In a lot of the design in anime and a lot of the storyline in anime. However, it's gotten way more mainstream. So I think anime people who were watched when we were in high school and cosplay, we were you're a little weird. And
a lot weird.
Possibly murdery. Now it's way more mainstream.
Okay.
And the content.
It's not reached me.
The content is more mainstream as well.
Okay.
Also, I think anime has branched more into being animated design versus anime design. Anime drawing is very specific to anime versus now the one that we watched is an anime, but it looks a lot more traditional animated design. So it doesn't feel like an anime, besides some of the themes that come out are very traditional.
Right.
But yeah, it's just getting a little weird. It's silly. But if you were interested in watching or getting started in anime, there are a few shows that I would recommend to you that I have watched and have not felt were weird.
If
but
you
there
want
are
those
still
recommendations, send us a DM.
Yeah,
and
send
then
us a
Steph
DM.
can send you hey.
But there are some that Traven will still watch that he'll show me, and I'm you're a weirdo. This is actually so weird.
I feel this is also going to be controversial.
Okay.
I don't know.
Go ahead.
We should call this Controversial Monday.
Go ahead.
Bob's Burgers and the King of the Hill and the even Simpsons, adults still watching.
I don't know if I would put Bob's Burgers in with those because I feel Bob's
but what
Burgers,
are all of those same
adult
animated, not adult anime, but adult animated, what is that?
Adult animated comedy King of the Hill, Simpsons.
Yeah. Well, that I think
Family
you're right.
Guy.
I think those ones are a little different.
Bob's Burgers to me is more Adventure Time. I don't watch either of them, but I think that they Caroline watches Bob's Burgers I think religiously.
Okay, but
and
what
says
about
it's so funny.
BoJack Horseman, Big Mouth?
Oh, I've
Blue
heard
Eye
Big
Step,
Mouth.
I'm looking at all
It's
these.
extremely crass, but really funny.
Disenchantment, F is for Family. Good
I think
Lord, I didn't
there
even
are
realize
some
all
of these that you would be surprised how good they are.
Yeah, I haven't even watched. I watched one of the X-Men things, which I know is an amazing series, but my brain does not. Same with so there's the comedy family of those, and those are a Venn diagram people that I don't overlap with a lot, unless you watch those and then tell me why I should. But then also, so the animated comedy, but then also just the Clone Wars, for example, on Disney Plus, where it was all
those are bad though.
I have a hard time getting in. No, because my friend Troy loves the Clone Wars. He was no, it's a really good series. I really tried getting into it. I just think the adult, if I'm gonna watch a Disney Moana,
I feel there are different ones the Clone Wars, which is meant for adults and for kids. If you watch X-Men 97, that feels like it's for adults. When you get further into it.
Maybe that's where I don't know if I totally am into anime totally for adults.
Yeah.
Sorry for being controversial.
All right, well, now let me be more controversial because I have
what's your third?
My third is the book Demon Copperhead, which is a Pulitzer...
Stephanie, when you are going to introduce a book title to me, I do not anticipate Demon Copperhead coming out of your mouth.
Listen.
A Bridgerton book, got it.
Listen.
S.J. Maas, of course. Demon Copperhead,
Okay.
Heavy metal side jacket. What in the... How did you get into this book talk?
Because, so Demon Copperhead has been all over my feed. It's everywhere. The Girls on the Toast were reading it. It's a Barbara Kingslover, something
Also
like that.
A new name.
Novel. It won a Pulitzer Prize last year, and it sucks. Okay, and here I go. Spoiler alert if you're interested in tragedy porn, which is what this book is.
Wait, it's tragedy porn.
You're like, it's what?
No, Lauren used to say, "This is us." Is emotional pornography.
Yeah.
This is tragedy
yeah,
porn.
I say that too. Like, it's very much like he's in a foster system. Okay, here's actually what bothers me. I cannot read books in which every adult in a child's life fails them.
Right. I need at least a Matilda. I need a Miss Honeybee.
Upsetting to me.
Yes.
Like, I know that is reality for some people. Let me be ignorant in bliss. Okay.
If I want reality, I watch the news or I read the news. If I want some escapism.
It's so sad. It's so sad. And I was about like,
I don't know any of her other books.
So I actually literally was like 50% of the way through. And it was hard for me to read. And I like kept getting through it. And then I'm 50% of the way through. He finally like escapes his foster home that he's in. And some prostitute at a gas station steals all of the money that he made that summer. And I was like, I can't keep reading this book. And I just like immediately returned it to the library. Because I was just like, I cannot keep reading this book. I'm so upset.
Take, you don't have to finish the book.
No, I love not finishing a book.
If you don't want to finish a book, don't finish a book.
I love not. One time I DNF'd a book because the male lead.
DNF. I was like, what'd you do to the book? I'm like, you pervert.
DNF is do not finish.
Yeah. I got that.
One time I was reading a book. I was 8% in. The male lead is joking with he's like teasing the female lead. And he goes, and I was listening to an audiobook too, so this didn't help. He's like teasing her, and then he goes, I'm just joshing you. I said, oh, return. Like, that was my...
No surer way to get a DNF from Steph than to use josh as a verb.
I'm just joshing you. I said, return immediately.
Yeah, guess what I'm doing as well? Not reading this. Toss. I have a question. So, Lauren brought over she brought over the Paperweight and the Oasis.
Yes.
Why are they so freaking small?
Oh, but you can adjust like the reading.
No. I want the screened. I want it to feel like I'm looking at a laptop.
Heavy.
I have big arms.
That's fair. You are a man.
I am strong.
You could read it on your iPad.
I know. I think I'm just going to have to start doing the Kindle app on my iPad.
I just feel like
which I only do magazines on there.
No, it goes faster than you think it does on the Kindle. Especially it's better for your eyes.
Oh. Here's my problem, babe. I don't understand. Why not have an iPad Kindle? Like a Kindle the size of this iPad.
Didn't the Toast Girlies get one that was that big?
I don't know. Can you reach out to us? I just don't understand why they're so...
Amazon, if you're listening.
What's the biggest... Let me just Google. What?
You can adjust the font size or make it smaller.
What is the biggest Kindle size you can buy?
I just don't think it's like as much as a hindrance as you think it is. Like, it's the same size as the page that you're reading.
Yeah, but no, I don't. No, that's not true. Think of like Fourth Wing. It's like an actual book. I want one that's like that size.
But you go through them faster.
Go through what?
The pages faster.
The largest Kindle screen size is the Paperweight Signature 6.8 display and up to 10 weeks. Oh, wow, 10 weeks of battery life.
Yeah. It's amazing.
It's still so small. Also, this says I purchased one in 2021.
Who did you
Where is it?
Who did you purchase one for?
I must have given that to somebody as a nice gift. Oh, October 22nd. So it would have been for my dad because it would have been right before his birthday.
Oh,
wait, I need one back.
Wait until they have like Prime deals. They have really good deals on them whenever it's like Prime whatever days. But we're probably approaching one of them.
Yeah. Also, I feel like Prime Days used to be just the week right after Thanksgiving, like Black Friday.
No, they do a few a year.
And then Cyber Monday. And now it's like Prime Days,
You could probably Google when the next one is.
Okay, I'm going to Google it right now.
So anyway, unless you really like reading books that make you sad, don't read Demon Copperhead. I imagine if you like the show This Is Us, you might like that book.
July.
Yeah, see?
Prime Day, Tech Radar says July sales draw nearer. It says Amazon Prime Day is all set to take place next month. Although, honestly, I think I have a consumerism issue or a
consumption
issue.
What?
What?
What? You? What?
I feel very shots fired. You're saying, what do you mean in what way are you saying, in what way are you being mean?
I'm not being mean.
You're saying, you are being mean. Everybody saw that. Go to YouTube, minute 12. Wait, why? What part of that are you saying? On the buying stuff thing?
No, so 100% you have a consumerism issue.
That's
you
buying
buy.
things. Yeah, no, I'm a buyer.
You're a buyer.
That's what I'm saying. I'm working on my
You're
consumerism.
a shark, from Shark Tank. You are
actually very different.
You're making investments.
Making investments, that is true.
In your future.
That's why I need to just I after buying so much stuff for the house, and moving and then getting rid of so much stuff that we'd bought last year, I was like, said to Steven, we are not buying stuff anymore. So I was just saying I'm not going to buy a Kindle. I mean, I wanted to if they had a good sized Kindle, but I'm not going to.
Interesting.
I'm going to monitor. I'm going to let you know the next time I buy something that I feel like is extra.
Really?
Yeah,
because you usually do it really late at night on TikTok Shop. Like there was one
that
time
doesn't
we were
count.
There was one time we were sitting on the couch, and Chase has this egg on his coffee table. I'm like, what the heck is this? He's like, it's a dragon egg. You haven't seen that lady on TikTok? I was like, are you okay?
Okay, but here's the thing about TikTok Shop. They give you a coupon.
Yeah. It's practically free.
And I'm helping small business.
Oh, fair.
I'm stimulating the economy.
It's good for the economy.
It's good for the economy. That is, okay, actually, because yesterday a TikTok purchase came, which we really love. It's this tray that clips onto this armrest of a couch.
Yeah, I got it.
Because we don't have an end table downstairs. So we got this little tray so I could put my milkshake on there.
Yeah.
I also got a new milkshake mug. Okay, I'm now seeing the problem.
Yeah, when you're like, I'll let you know when anything I purchase is extra, I look directly in the camera. I said,
okay, I'm going to let you know anytime I TikTok shop. From here on henceforth, you'll be my TikTok shop accountability coach.
I
do you
am
agree?
not a great shopping accountability coach. I'm like, you earned it. You literally have money.
Wait,
buy it.
would Molly be a good coach? Because maybe
Absolutely.
we do a group
Molly
text
would
of
be
us
like,
three.
This is the stupidest thing I've ever seen anybody purchase. Why would you buy this?
Yeah,
and
I
you're
think
like,
that could be.
Does shame work? I don't know.
Yeah, so shame definitely works. Hi, childhood. Okay, should we get into some stories?
That's a closet
but
joke.
But before we get into that's a pride joke. Before we get in, we do have a scheduling update. We're going to have, so we have 3 more episodes, including this one. So our last episode will air June 19th, and then we're going to go on a little bit of a summer break. So June 19th will be our season 1 finale, and we have a little surprise lined up. Then season 2 will begin in August, sometime at the beginning of August.
Yeah.
So we're going to take the later half of June and then July off. Although there may be a surprise drop or two because we love hanging out and we love hearing the sound of our
Yeah,
own
if we
voices.
don't schedule one, will we even see each other this summer?
No.
Yeah.
So I will see you here for a surprise drop. I'll
You
be like,
feel,
what?
you know what's crazy? You, now that you've moved, feel so much closer to me, despite you, I think, actually being farther away.
Yeah. I think I am further away.
Maybe by 8 minutes, but
but still.
it seems so much closer to me.
Yeah, and it's more fun to hang out in my new house.
You know what we should do, though? We should just plan meetups at that really good TJ Maxx by you on 134th.
Yes.
I love that TJ Maxx home
With
goods combo.
the combo. Yeah, it's also really beautiful. It's like that's
and
a
the
beautiful...
Saffron Valley is right there, so we could
That's true.
literally
Wait, done.
date.
All right, we've got some people. Speaking of Pride weekend, Adele, our queen, our mother, had some choice words for a homophobic fan. Now, I don't know if it's totally fair to call him a homophobic fan.
Well,
All the fan says is Pride is stupid.
yeah,
Something to that effect.
that does give homophobic vibes.
Homophobic vibes, but I think we have to be careful in labeling anybody. So headlines, just be careful.
Yeah, no, the headline
Because there's certain people
is
that I
labeling
know
the
that are in my
homophobe,
life.
and I am labeling them a homophobe, but you don't have to.
I'm not going to, because I think there's people that are in my world who would say like, oh, I actually think the concept of Pride Month is stupid. Both in and out of the community.
Yeah.
So I'm not trying to like slander someone who just thinks it's pride. Like if they had said all gays are the worst, I'd be like, okay, you're a little bit more
fair.
homophobic. But this is just really just doing about pride. But so she's at this show. Oh, someone just shouted pride sucks. And then she said, did you come to my effing show and say pride sucks? Are you effing stupid? Don't be so effing ridiculous. And
this just to me is a lesson in knowing your audience.
Yes.
Okay? If you're going to an Adele concert,
yeah.
don't yell pride sucks. Maybe if you're at a Dave Chappelle show, you can yell pride sucks.
And he'd be like, yeah, it does.
But like, what are you doing at an Adele show heckling
Agreed.
Adele?
Now she ended and said, if you've got nothing nice to say, shut up. Am I right? Here's my advice to celebrities. Let's stop like the PR handling of things, the over, PR person that makes it so I don't really have any idea who these celebrities are in their real life in a lot of ways. I need them to like loosen the reins and just let celebrities be celebrities like Adele just being Adele, because I'm confident there's people that were also like, ooh, we could have workshopped it. I don't know, blah, blah. And she's just like, I'm just going to be me.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lesson there.
I think it comes off particularly well because it was a fan who posted the video. Yeah. So it was obviously not doctored. It was obviously not like, I think celebrities, we are coming to terms with the fact that they are like so out of touch. And like having a person who is more authentic in front of you is just like,
well, I honestly think that it's not one of our people we're giving advice to, but J-Lo has canceled her tour. And
talk about out of touch.
That's what I'm going to say. Talk about where the pendulum has sort of shifted for the community not loving her. It's in part because of all that footage that came out from her documentary where she's like, I just loved walking down, going down to the bodega. I love this. Just reminds me of running the stairs. And then people are like, what are you talking about? You went to a boarding school. Like that level of like, hey, just be honest or you're going to lose your fan base. That I think we need to.
Did you see she was in an interview with Sterling Brown?
Yes.
And she's like, well, I'm Puerto Rican. He goes, you're Puerto Rican? Like he says it as if he's mocking her, and she's like, yes. And then she keeps going, and then you see him just like,
yeah. I actually kind of like him.
Oh, I love him.
He drove me nuts in This Is Us.
Didn't watch.
Randall, I didn't love him. I didn't love his character, and obviously you can't love him in Wakanda because he's not one of the good guys, right?
I don't even remember him being.
He's like the brother, the Wakanda dad.
Oh,
remember
like the
it's
brother
like
of the
and
dad,
it's like historical, when it goes back in time.
Yes.
Anyway, but yeah, that's a perfect kind of foil to the Adele is like J-Lo. Like Adele's so authentic and J-Lo feels so manufactured. Also, and that's why I think Adele is continuing to extend her residency.
When I was looking for stories, I'm like, nobody is calling the paparazzi on herself more than J-Lo is right now.
J-Lo and Ben Affleck smiling, going to a baseball game.
J-Lo walking out of rehearsals with children. Yeah. Like J-Lo
spending
takes
time
crap
with kids
on the side of the road.
J-Lo gets ice cream cone, falls on floor, she licks it off floor. Like it
feels like it's really intense, the amount of stories coming out about J-Lo that's like, I feel methinks thou dost protest too much, okay? You're doing a lot. Yeah. Be more authentic.
That's what I'm saying. So and this is a good thing for just people in life. It's obviously at a much higher level, but generally, people that are authentic end up having friends that stay around for a long time. They kind of like, even if it's not a huge swath of people, it's just like their core group because they're just who they are. They know who you're getting. And if you're going to be a friend to someone else and be manufactured or fake or whatever else, it's a throwaway friendship at some point.
Agreed.
So just be more authentic generally.
Agreed.
All right. I'm also obsessed with this next headline. Yeah. Now, I want to go off of your headline, which is how you put it into the shared note, which was Cindy Lou Who gets bit by bat. The page 6 headline is Taylor Momsen gets bit by bat while opening for AC/DC, saying, quote, I must really be a witch.
She was performing a song called like Witch Hunt or something, and she got bit by a bat who was sitting on her skirt. Yes. The fans started screaming and pointing it out, and she didn't even realize it until it bit her. And by the way, Taylor Momsen is the girl who played Cindy Lou Who.
Which I did not know. She was also in Gossip Girl.
Yes, she was in Gossip Girl.
And she is the pretty reckless front woman.
Did you ever watch Gossip Girl?
The old one?
Yeah.
XOXO, of course.
Okay, just making sure. I was like, you really like that show.
No, I watched it
done.
for sure. I watched it, and I watched, because I put these two together, because I would watch Nikita during the day and then Gossip Girl at night. Get Nikita because I didn't really have to pay attention to it, but it was still pretty entertaining. Yeah. And then I would watch Gossip Girl at night because I was like, oh, I actually do need to figure out what is happening here.
No, there's a lot of dramas. You gotta pay attention.
So I don't know if I have a whole lot of advice.
She did have to get a rabies shot, which I've heard sucks.
Yes. Also, bats are my dad's number one fear. Did you know that?
So is your dad Batman?
No. Wait, is that Batman's number one fear?
Yeah,
that's why he does the bat. Disappointing his parents was his number one fear.
No, his parents are dead. Why would he be afraid of disappointing them?
The legacy.
I don't think he cares about the legacy.
Bruce Wayne's
he's afraid of bats.
Bats?
Yes.
That's so stupid.
That's why he's Batman.
Because he's like a bat?
Because he is overcoming his fear.
Wait, so if your superhero name is based off of overcoming your fear.
Wrong about this.
No, but if your superhero name is based on your fear, what would your superhero name be? Like mine would be Needleman, but I don't love how that sounds.
Needleman.
Sounds like a description. Yeah, it's Needle Joe over there. Like, or like, what would my name be? Kids Dying Carl. Like, that's my fear, is that my kids will die before me. So, Lonely Lane. That's my. I don't want to die alone.
No, I actually made a joke about that this weekend because
I'd be the Lonely Ranger. Sorry, I just found the better one. The Lonely Ranger. Yeah, okay.
This weekend I was.
Wait, you still have to think of what your superhero name would be. Okay,
I'm getting there. I told Traven, I was showing him like one of those TikTok videos, like, how well do you know your girlfriend? It said like, what is her deepest fear? And he's like, and I go, wrong. My deepest fear is not that I'm inadequate. It is that I'm great beyond measure.
It's my light, not my dark, that frightens me most.
So,
that's your superhero.
Greatness girl.
GG, greatness girl. Your fear is that you're going to be great. Yeah. What's your superpower? I do everything amazing.
I'm afraid of my greatness.
That's sometimes how I feel like where Marvel has landed.
Yeah.
And it's greatness girl. She does everything great. She also is kind of like Tony the Tiger. I just realized.
I'll be Tony the Tiger.
Okay. I don't have any advice for her. I just think it's a really funny story.
My advice, stay away from bats. Rabies shots suck.
Are you current on your shots, like your tetanus shot? Do you know?
I don't know.
And what about like your like Hep A, Hep B?
I have to get those, I think.
I have no idea.
No, I
wait, I need Cassie, if you're listening to this, which I know you are. Hey, Queen. Oh gosh, we miss her so much. It is so hard being away from them. Our new ward and our new neighborhood is like really trying hard to integrate us. They've stopped by, they've brought us gifts, they've brought little cards. They're like, we can't wait for your kids to come out of the house, and like so sweet. But they're just not Cassie and Troy, which is really, really sad. Anyway,
it's okay. You knew them longer. You'll get to know your neighbors.
I hope that's the case. But anyway, Cassie, when you're listening, can you tell us how often should we be getting our tetanus shot?
I don't think it's like regularly tetanus. Like I think.
What about your Hep A, Hep B?
No, I think those are like you get one, and you really
get one
should
ever.
I think you get one, and then maybe like.
Cass, we would just love an update. Text it to us and we'll put it on the next episode of this is what adults should be doing for their updating vaccines.
I think you really should get an Hep A and Hep B one.
Well, you
everyone.
too.
No,
you
not
should get
you.
one.
I just mean you, our audience.
Wait, should we go together? I hate needles so much.
I know you do.
I don't want to do
it. When we got our COVID shots together.
This is the best story.
When we got our COVID shots together. We might have to derail a whole story just to tell this story.
Yes. Okay, wait. Let's get rid of just one of the stories because this is so funny.
I'll start telling it. You figure out which story to get rid of.
No. Okay, but remember, you have to also say how I was so nervous and
I'm
bled.
Getting there.
She stabbed me and she hit a geyser. Okay, you go on. I'm going to get rid of a story.
So Chase and I scheduled our COVID shots together. Yes, we got vaccinated. Are we better than you? Of course we are. We got vaccinated together at the Megaplex Theater in Lehigh. We showed up So pumped. I found out at that moment that Chase is so afraid of needles.
Like when we say so afraid of needles, you guys, you need to
So-
understand that it's not like a feign, like
terrified
needles.
of needles.
Oh gosh, the thought of a needle, foreign object going into your body that can break off, that
Terrified.
could put horrible things in.
Also-
if you get a little bit air bubble in there, it can kill you or something.
Because when I started and found this out, I was like, oh, I've heard the needle is like the size of a Capri Sun straw. Like
Yeah. She's just really gasoline on. Yeah.
And hyped it up.
Which
So
is
then
particularly
he's
great
sitting-
because we're during a global pandemic
Yeah,
where we're
yeah.
already on edge at all time.
He sits in front of me to get his done. I'm so entertained by him being terrified of the needle that I don't even notice mine is happening. But he's like, okay, I just can't look. I can't look. And he turns away. And I'm like, oh my gosh, she's opening the needle. She's getting the stuff. Oh, the needle's really close. And he's like, he whips around and he's like, shut up. Shut up. Like,
it was not like a, haha, Kiki,
it was not
shut up.
graceful.
I was like, I swear to God, I will freaking murder you.
He was so terrified. And then I was like, oh, the needle's so big. Ugh, the needle's so big. Ugh.
And
you
so
were like,
I flexed because
He
it made me
was-
so nervous. And when I flexed, I then, I just started bleeding. So they had, do you remember? She was like, oh gosh, that hasn't happened. Which to like reinforce my fear, that has been said to me multiple times as people give me shots. Oh gosh, I've never seen that happen before. That's happened 3 or 4 times. So I'm bleeding. She's like holding the thing on it. Then she's taping it. I soak through that. She's like, oh gosh, she has a real bleeder. And I'm like, you bitch.
and I'm just like, thank you. Tuck my sleeve down.
Yeah, she's got a cute little Band-Aid, and mine is like a
Mine's
full
a Hello
blown
Kitty
like,
Band-Aid.
Mine's a full blown like gauze
Then-
has
You have to go wait in the theater for like 10 minutes.
to think
make
about
sure-
how crazy it is. To make sure that you don't like pass out after what they just put in your
You don't
body.
have any adverse
we have
reactions.
to physically monitor the potential adverse reaction. If that doesn't show you how whack that whole world was,
It was crazy.
We're just sitting there like,
They're
what are you
like,
waiting for?
hopefully you're not allergic.
Yeah.
Like, and we,
They name someone else.
the
They're like,
riffing that we did in that theater was some of our best comedic work of all time. The way that if we would have had a microphone at that time, we would have
been
blown
so
up. We
viral.
would have been.
So
It was so funny.
One example of that is they then just call out, like, with no respect to HIPAA, Janet Clark.
Because they call you, so they
and then
called
they say,
you to
"Okay, you're
basically be
good.
like,
Your
"You're good to
time
go."
is up. Are you
Yeah.
feeling okay? You can leave." So we know everyone's name. So they say one person. Let's stick with Janet. Janet Clark. And then I said, oh God, it got Janet. Like I said it so loudly in the theater.
And then we just joked about like me being like, they say my name and I'm like, yeah. And
You're
then just
being like,
thanks.
you having a side effect? Stephanie and I we're like hyping ourselves up for what we're gonna
We're
do
trying to figure out how to mess with the nurses
right,
as much
who
as we can.
We're so sorry, the nurses, frontline workers, that I don't know if we made life better for you or if you were like,
No, we did.
if they were like
loved
ripping
us.
those masks off and like, I'm never working these idiots at the movie theater.
We thought about how funny it would be if
To,
they
like,
had like a tent in there with like snacks.
Yeah.
For like after you got your shot, you go in, you like get a little
like
snack
concessions
pack.
and you or like someone just has like a megaplex is there. Would you like a little pop? It's 8 in the morning. Yeah, honestly, is it
Yeah.
on sale? Perfect. So the other thing too, so when we go up there, I was dragging my right leg like it had somehow just stopped working, and I was like, oh gosh. Yeah, sorry, my legs had kind of fallen asleep. And Steph is just like, we're feeling totally fine. We're feeling totally fine. And the lady was like, I think she'd seen us act a fool the whole time.
Also, I found like a
So they
pair
let
of
us sleep.
sunglasses that I like. There was this like sunglasses like fell, and I grabbed them and I turned to the lady behind me. I'm like, "Are these yours?" She's no.
like, no.
I was like, "Okay."
So Steph just put
I
on
put them on.
sunglasses as she's
In the
walking
theater.
out like she's like we're on drugs.
In a
And then
theater
we
in the
leave.
daytime
I need to
with
put that in the
sunglasses on.
carousel. I have the one of
The
us.
photos.
We have a video of us. I hope I could find it somewhere. I put it on there. We did a little boomerang of us outside.
And then when they were checking our IDs to like match our COVID card, we were being extremely hysterical.
Yes.
I can't even, and they were just the nurses were dying. The
nurses appreciate it. Like, here's the thing. My medical name, I think I've said this before. I've changed my medical chart so that my preferred name is Handsome Man. So, and it's always like gets a laugh and it like helps them. I actually think that nurses generally, in my experience, have all really appreciated the sort of fun, the candor. Like, they're humans too. They're not just like a medical robot.
Honestly.
But
if you have to get a shot after a pandemic,
come with us.
Do it with your best friend.
Do it with a bestie and go in with a whole vibe.
Because we were a vibe. Our side effect was comedy. Our side effect was hilarity.
No. Our side that was what we had before. It wasn't even. It was just like this unlocked.
Yeah.
It was like Limitless with Bradley Cooper. That medicine into our body. We were like, whoa.
We took the one that made us more funny. And here we are today.
I was just going to say, and that's how we got here. And my story, it's kind of nuts. It's kind of crazy. Gypsy Rose wants to work a 9 to 5 at McDonald's. Okay. First off, 2 thoughts.
Yeah.
She looks great.
She does.
She got that nose fixed. She's got makeup. She's done.
She fixed it. I think she just has better makeup artists.
That must be it. But look at the difference in noses. That nose?
I think that she got a nose job. I actually think she looks better with brown hair.
Oh, really? I could see like why she's trying to do anything different. I have a feeling she'll be on Dancing with the Stars.
Oh,
like I actually see that's where her trajectory is going to take her. But she seems to be realizing fame ain't it all cracked up to be, and it's eye-opening move. She wants to work a 9 to 5 grind, including at the Golden Arches. I don't think that's going to actually happen.
No,
I think she's going to get
this
like
is one of those we talked about last week. I love when like super famous people LARP as like wanting to be poor to be more authentic. I'm like, I just.
Now she put this on, I want to read this because I think there's some veracity to this. Mm-hmm. She put this on her story saying, "Don't ask me to relive my trauma for your personal curiosity. Don't demand to know the answers to questions that have no relevance in your life. Don't expect me to have overcome my past on your time. Don't tell me about my mistakes and choices when I am the one who has to live with them on my conscience. Don't project what you want me to be because you find it more interesting. I am not a celebrity. I am a trauma survivor who is healing from emotional, mental, and medical abuse. I have shared my story in the hopes that it would educate about Munchausen by proxy and inspire other survivors, only to have my abuse be invalidated by content creators on social media who do not have any psychological education to back up their claims, despite multiple psychiatrists specializing in MPB, such as Dr. Blah Blah Blah, who interviewed me for the 2017 HBO's Mommy's Dead and Dearest. After reviewing my medical records obtained for my case, he had high belief that my mother had indeed Munchausen by proxy. Don't ask me to advocate. I am healing." I would feel better about that if she didn't go on so many damn news outlets and parade herself around.
You're calling the paparazzi on yourself constantly.
And had her own like Lifetime show or movie that then she did press for. So here's my thought. No, here's my thought. Be careful what you wish for.
Yeah.
Like, I think sometimes people find themselves.
I love having a podcast, but I would not like to be famous.
Oh, yeah. No. I've seen snippets of that with Steven and with Matt and Savannah. How it's just
stressful.
It's stressful. But I just think generally, be careful what you wish for. And then if you made the bed, lie in it.
Yeah.
That's what I have to say. That's my advice to Gypsy Rose Blanchard. I don't like her, actually. I got to be honest.
I don't really either. I think it's very odd to glorify somebody that obviously she clearly has trauma, but like to glorify her crimes has been odd.
Yeah, a very bizarre, you had your mom killed. I don't know Can't relate.
Couldn't love my mom more.
Literally the same. So it's just a bizarre. But
also my mom isn't an abusive, crazy person, so.
No, same. But I just also would never pay anybody to hire.
No, and I don't find her fascinating. I don't. But I'm also not the type of person.
That was really good.
Too cheap.
I said I wouldn't hire anybody to kill him for me. I'm too cheap.
That's funny.
Okay.
What was I gonna say? Oh, I'm like not like a person who's fascinated by murders.
Yeah, me neither.
serial
I'm not
killers.
a true crimer. I'm not a...
I think I watched like one serial killer, the Ted Bundy, because Zac Efron was in it, not because it was about a serial killer. And it just left me feeling icky. Like,
yeah, I don't like anything that's super evil. I unless it's Real Houses of New Jersey. But I don't... The only other time I did something like that was when we were in Yellowstone for my mom's 60th. I had gotten everybody like spooky stories from Yellowstone to like listen to while we drove around. And I was like, oh, that was a fun choice. One time I'll do that. That was, I checked that box.
Check that
so
box.
it's not for me.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to combine the last two stories because they're kind of similar.
Yeah.
We're talking about Terri Irwin and Sofia Vergara.
Yeah.
Opposites, but doing their own opposite ends of the spectrum. So the article for Terri Irwin was saying that she's not interested in dating.
And
Steve,
why would she?
Yeah.
How could you ever
replace someone? And
Irwin.
Why would you subject a guy to being constantly compared to Steve Irwin? Like, that's not fair. Nobody looks good next to him. So of course she's not looking at dating. So she's kind of in, and I think they're actually similar in age, Terri and Sofia Vergara.
Probably.
Conversely, Sofia Vergara is in the news talking about how she can change her J tattoo, which was for her ex, Joe Manganiello, into something else.
No, she says her new boyfriend's name is Justin. Yeah. So she goes, I'll just recycle it.
I could just recycle the name into something else.
I actually find that if you're going to get a tattoo with somebody's name or initial, that's a funny way to talk about it.
Wait, also, what if that was like a thing where you got a tattoo of like a T for Traven, and then you only could date T people after that?
That's what she was talking about. Yeah. She's like, I'll only date J's now because
I got one on my wrist. It covers everybody who I've dated.
Exactly.
Here's my advice. So they're not really foils. It's just two different approaches. And neither of them are right. Neither of them are wrong. No. Well, both of them are right for them. But there's no like objective way. I think as a divorce attorney, I handle a lot of dissolution of families and marriages and what do we do now. And there's no right or wrong way. I mean, there's a wrong way to do certain things. But however you decide to move on is totally okay. And sometimes moving on means staying put. Like, I'm moving on from the heartache and the tragedy, but I'm totally happy. Yeah. My grandmother, Rosemary, didn't remarry. Her husband had been dead for 51 years before, and then she passed away. And so she just was like, no, I knew I would never love somebody like I loved George.
I find women to be way more like that than men.
Oh, yeah. Men are, I've said from the beginning, the episode could be called Men Suck, but maybe a little weird saying that on Pride. But yeah, I think women are really good at that. I just have loved that love story. Think about Notebook. Here's the
thing, though. Women find so much more connection in their other relationships outside of like
an intimate
one that I think they like don't feel the. Often I find that women don't feel the need to like replace that intimate one because, or physical one, I guess you could say, because they find intimacies in their other relationships.
Yes.
So, like, the Terri Irwin thing makes so much sense to me.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think Sophia's makes sense to her too, in part because I think celebrity women don't have the luxury of, they have so many other luxuries, so I don't feel bad. Closeness, and they don't get to just be like, I mean, unless you're Whoopi Goldberg, who's like, oh, I just have no interest of a man being in my stuff anymore. Like, you always have to they have to portray, or they have to appear desirable. And
no, if I became famous, I would only talk to people that I talked to before I was famous.
Right.
Like, I would find it so hard to make friends.
Agreed.
After you were famous. Like, you would want to. I know you would feel like, oh, I want these people who understand my level of fame, but like, I just don't think that you could authentically.
That's like why I actually love when you see wedding parties of celebrities, and you see when like the wedding party are friends. Children. Like, you have no idea who they are, and you're like, it's like
at the Stevie Nicks concert when she talked about like, my best friend Karen is here of 62 years, and they met when she was 8 years old.
Right.
And she's just like, this is my best friend of 62 years, and she's here tonight. And it's like, you're Stevie freaking Nicks. Like, and you're still friends with somebody you met when you were 8 years old. Totally. It's amazing.
Yeah, I love that. So, general advice, moving on, do what works best for you. Yeah. Don't listen to the pressure from other people.
Do you have conversations with Steven like, if I die, move on. Like, I feel like every couple just
No.
goes like, if I were to pass away, here's the appropriate amount of time.
No, because like Steven is just the most unjealous person ever. It's sometimes it's a lot. I'm like, oh, the guy kind of hit on me today, you know. And then Steven would be like, oh, that's fun for you. And I'm like, oh, that sucks.
Boring.
But now I'm like, and Steven just doesn't see when other people are flirting with him. So I'm like, did you see? And he's like, what? I'm like, dang it. So we don't have those conversations, but we're more of the anomaly.
Yeah.
Generally, I'm like,
Traven's jealousy will surprise me. It will come out at like random times, and I'm like, oh, was that?
you're like,
Are you
oh.
attracted to me?
You're like, so you do like
So
me.
you love me.
All right. Any other things, my love? I got work.
No.
I have to go do.
We love you guys.
We love you lots. We're going to call the episode 5 stars. And so the emoji is just drop the star emoji. And make sure you've dropped the star emoji after you've commented or you've rated.
Yeah, give
Give
us
us 5
podcast.
stars. And just like the guy at
And
Himalayan Kitchen, 5 stars. Leave a nice comment on Apple Podcasts.
Yeah.
And then drop a star to let us know that you listened to the episode.
Yay.
Yay.
Love you guys so much.
So much.
We did bad singing this whole
This
episode.
was not.
It's
we
cringy.
should have had a lot more. Well, most of the episode is cringy.
Oh, we're always cringy. We're elder millennials.
We're chuggy.
No, not chuggy, but
Oh.
cringy for sure.
Okay, I forget the difference, but
Chuggy is more like unironically bad.
oh, okay.
Like chevron print. Or the color teal. Or like a all gray house.
I actually know someone that fits all 3 of those boxes.
Well, I'm not naming names, but chuggy.
I will after this is over. All right. Bye, you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, name the name.
No, I'm not going to say it
Name
right
the
now.
name it. Name
No.
it.